Well, we've accepted in full the recommendations of the independent pay review body. The average for junior doctors as a whole is 8.8%. So we've got to balance getting inflation down.
Let's break this bollocks down.
The average for junior doctors as a whole is 8.8%.
How about pointing out to the Health Secretary and viewers that inflation in June was almost 8%, and food price inflation in July was more than 13%. So what he's offering junior doctors is little more than a crappy real terms pay cut. And while you're at it, how about pointing out junior doctors have suffered a massive 26% real terms pay cut since 2008. So on what planet can it be said wage rises for junior doctors are causing high inflation? And maybe also hit the Health Secretary with the fact that almost half of them are now struggling to pay their rent and mortgages. And after several years of study, they've amassed debts of about £100,000. As for this,
so we've got to balance getting inflation down.
Again, how about pointing out to the Health Secretary and viewers that according to the International Monetary Fund, it was rising corporate profits which were the largest contributor to Europe's inflation over the past 2 years, as companies increased prices by more than the spiking costs of imported energy. And how many times do I have to point this out? It's not rocket science. If a private sector company increases its wages, yes, that goes directly into the cost of making that product or service, and that might end up increasing the price. But that's not the case with public sector workers such as healthcare, which are free at the point of use. That means consumers don't pay for them directly, so they don't affect the inflation statistics. And it just gets worse.
So, today's offer is final. There will be no more talks on pay. We will not negotiate again on this year's settlements, and no amount of strikes will change our decision.
So what the Prime Minister is telling junior doctors is if they won't accept another crappy real terms pay cut on top of a whole decade of crappy real terms pay cuts, he's just going to impose another crappy real terms pay cut on them anyway. Well, absolute bollocks to that. Imposition is not a negotiation. It's bullying and it's intimidation, and that's just not how we do things in this country. And if all that's not appalling enough, if junior doctors won't roll over and accept what Sunak demands, he's actually planning to strip them of their democratic right to strike, force them to work against their will, and allow them to be sacked if they refuse. How about pointing all this out to viewers?